bit more power. You can put like a plus 10 in the boost and set it, and it will give you a little bit more power on the initial hit. Alarms. This here will allow you to see if you have any binding. I don't know if you can hear this, but you can hear it squeal a little bit. I use that to set up that stuff, and then what I will do is I will turn this up to, because I don't want to sit and listen to it all the time. I'll run them up to 99%, hit set on that, and then I will also load up a 2-second delay, so I don't have to listen to the thing squeal, and now it'll be quiet. See, I can push on it, no squealing. Slow start, you can turn it on or off here. That's really nice. What I'll do here is we'll turn this off and I'll show you how slow start works, because this is just the coolest thing you ever seen. But we'll move all these arms, and instead of banging your ailerons, when you pull the button, watch how slow these servos come back into place. Once they set neutral, now they all work like normal. They're fast. Slow start is awesome. Motion angle. You can set it up for either 120 degrees motion, or you can change them if you need more. And now, as you can see, that one servo there that we've been changing, look how much throw it's got now. It goes 180 degrees. The stop mode, I guess I haven't really messed with stop mode too much, but you could either set it up for free or hold. I've never changed that. I guess we can see what happens here on that one. Doesn't look like it really did much of anything. That particular feature I have never used. Okay, that gets you through all the features and all the things you can set up if you have the NX servos. So it gives you a ton of options, gives you a lot of benefits, and it gives you a total power distribution to all of your servos. Because by using this wire and running it back and stuff, you actually will gain performance out of your servo of approximately 5% by using this setup. Whereas if you plug a servo like this into a 72-inch extension, you actually lose about 23-24% performance of the servo. So if you got a 400-ounce servo, by using just a plain extension that's that long, you're going to be equivalent of about a 300-ounce servo. It's also going to take some speed away from it. So your power distribution is way better. Your wiring is way simpler, because instead of running, if you're running 4 servos in the tail like these right here, we'll say these were all in the tail. Instead of running 4 extensions back to your tail and all of that, you can run 1 extension, 1 power wire in between these ports here, and you lose absolutely 0 performance out of your servo by extending it that far, and you only have to route this back to the back, and that's it. Now I've probably got a little bigger silicone wire here than what it really needed, but that happened to be what I had here when I made this. But this would be all you would run back, and you would mount this in the tail, and your servos would all be mounted in the tail. So instead of having all of these extensions going through somewhere, you're down to zip tying these together, tape them together, and you have just this setup going back to your tail. They also make a little black hub that you can run through, and you can plug your servos directly into it if they don't take a lot of power. Another thing that's really nice about this is if I unplug this and I want to plug it in over here, it ain't like a PWM port. Guess what? They all still operate as an aileron servo. It makes no difference where I plug this in. If I move it over there, still operates the same way. I can even take this and plug it in up there. I'm not going to do it because I have power hooked up through here and stuff, but I can plug it into this one up here and it's going to do the same thing. Now, what we'll do here, and I'm not bound up for it, but before we go, I'm going to bring up the XG11 here, and the programming on the XG11, the 14, and all that, it's pretty much basically same thing. So what we're going to do here is go into the menu, and we'll go into the system list. Once we're in the system list here, we will go to the Xbus. And I better make sure I don't screw up one of the kids' models here. So it looks like we're okay because this must just be for the simulator. So if we mess it up, no big deal. Alright, so we're going to go to Xbus, and it's in opt, so we're going to opt it. Now the JR stuff's all going to use Xbus mode A. So you're going to put mode A in here, bind everything up on that. Once you have that, you're going to go to the servo converter system. Now see, this is set up just a little bit different than the 28, but you can go in here and you can change whichever one you want by picking it. Remembering that this one up here is the one you're going to change. This one down here is the one that you're going to change the ID to. So you can pick whatever, say elevator, and then you're going to come over here and hit set. We're not going to hit set because we're set up, bound up to another radio. It'll just time out on us. So one of the keys to not messing this stuff up, we're going to say, let's just say, okay, we'll go back to elevator. Let's just say we set that to elevator 1. And then a couple days later, we were going to go into elevator 1. So you're going to put elevator 1 up here. Now, if you don't hit set here and this is on, when you turn your radio back on, this is going to be at throttle 1. As long as you don't hit set, you're okay. You can go down here and you can change your reversing, change any of this stuff, because that ID up there is the one that you're changing. If you happen to hit set though on this, it's going to change it. So if you want to avoid having that problem, if you're going to do it, just put elevator 1 in there. That way if you accidentally are scrolling, you scroll by and you happen to bink the button and it sets it, it's still going to be elevator 1. So the easiest thing to do is just put the same number in both of them, and you don't have to worry about it. Then you can go in here, you can normal reverse it, hit set, and neutral and all that. Now if you're using a converter, this page here is the only page that's going to do any good for you. If you're using the NX servos, then you can go in here, you can change your holding gain, your dumping gain, deadband, and boost. Remembering that the dumping gain is the one that stops your servo jittering. And if you scroll to the next page, it gives you the alarm level, delay, angle, slow start, and your stop mode. So all of it is still in this radio. It's just pictured a little bit different than what the 28X is, but it all operates the same way. So that should give you a basic idea of how the Xbus works. A few keys to the whole thing is, remember if you're IDing servos, ID all your servos individually and then put them in. If you're IDing the converter, ID the whole converter the way you want it, and then you can plug your servos in and operate all of them. And the other big key is if you do an ID reset, let's say you screw up one servo here, if you want to reset the ID on it, make sure you unplug the other servos. If you don't, it's going to reset the whole bunch. Everything that's plugged in, it will reset. So those that you do not want reset, don't reset. Now, once you're all done with this, we'll say that I had this stuff in a 35% airplane. It's flying good, and we'll say we went to a fun fly and I forgot to take the charger for the 28X. And on all your sub trims, travel adjusts, and everything that's in the radio under the normal sub trims, travel adjust, that's all going to stay at 0 because you set it all up in Xbus, or stay at your default, I should say, not at 0. Your sub trims would be 0 and stuff. But let's say that for some reason I forgot to take my charger and the battery went dead in my radio, and I had no way of charging that radio. If I know what my dual rates exponential set up at, I could take this XG11, bind it up, all my servos are going to go the same direction, all my travels are going to be the same, my neutrals are going to be the same. All I would have to do is I could put in my dual rates exponential, and away we go, and we go fly. So, it could be real nice that way and stuff like that. So, that basically runs you through a setup on it, and runs you through all the benefits of having this. It's a really good system. I've run it on several planes, and I won't use nothing but this now because my planes fly better. The controls are better on them. Everything's precise. I can balance everything out better. I really like the setup. It works super, super good. So don't be afraid to try it. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me through JR Americas. I can help walk anybody through it. Another nice thing about Xbus too is that you're only limited by the number of channels that the radio has. These two little receivers I'm using right here are just 6-channel receivers. But if I use them in Xbus, I can run 28 channels out of my 28X. I can run 11 channels out of this. I'm not limited to only 6 channels on this receiver as long as I'm using Xbus. So that's another benefit to the whole thing. So, like I say, if you need to, you can get a hold of me through JR Americas and through their website. I can help you out. Good luck, and hope this helps.